That store's being robbed. I need to help them.
Hey, Miles. I'm catching up on... Yikes. Kind of a backlog after being away.
That's it for the convicts.
I'll remember this, Spider-Man. Thank you.
Have fun with this one. I had a repeat client I always met here. Got real used to waiting, listening, hearing this sound running on a tight schedule.
A sound on a schedule.
Just because it's not Christmas. Sales are cool. Post-Christmas clearance is what it says.
Sound of something on a schedule. Whoa, alliteration. The ferry. Has to be. Need to get in close enough to record that horn. Not this way. Ferry horns. That's right.
Clients I met here used to take the ferry over from Jersey. Working for him was good money, till it got busted. He's how your dad found out about the problem. Not that it was me, but a thief was making it big in New York, and your dad volunteered for the case. I could feel him closing in. I had to try and guess which would be worse. Told him. Caught me.
That'd be me. I don't know what I'd do. That can't be the only reason Dad cut him off. Not if he fessed up. It just wasn't Dad.
This plaza and the blocks around it are alive with sound. One you're looking for is light, distinct.
Light, huh? Okay. Oh man, this is making me hungry. Not really a light sound, but definitely distinctive. I like that beat. Not sure it's light though.
What?
Something distinctive. Yeah. Wink. That sounds good.
Hey!
This plaza's where I had my first job. I was fresh out of high school then. Didn't have the gear or the mask. Guy paid me to mug his boss. Rough him up, take everything in his wallet. Your dad found out. He stood under those wind chimes yelling at me for an hour. He never told our folks. He made me promise I'd stop stealing. Wish I kept my word. You deserve better.
I wish you had too. Maybe you and Dad would have stayed close. And you and I would be okay too.
This sound always feels like someone's celebrating, even when it's just telling time. Your dad thought so too, so we had to include it.
A sound that tells time. Okay.
Exploding bridges are exactly what happened.
You don't mind, right?
He said it sounded like a celebration.
Spider-Man. Nice job exposing Roxxon and all, but yeah, I wish you gave me the heads up to sell this.
Could you, like, do something?
Come on, move it!
That's it. Ringing on the hour.
When I hear those bells, I remember the last time I was here. Your dad had just graduated from the police academy. I didn't go to the ceremony, so I met him here after. Bought us milkshakes. Strawberry for him, peanut butter for me. Don't know why I remember that. He said he couldn't cover for me anymore if I got in trouble. I told him I was done with that life. I was lying, but he believed me for a while. Or at least pretended.
Things got complicated between them.
Times Square. Easy to find someone in the crowd here. Or lose them. Sound you need's like an electric current.
A current. I could cheat it with venom. Nah.
What's up?
Wow, that was intense.
Good to see Feast out here. But that sound would drown out the rest of the track.
I know I said the name is still. You don't mind, right?
Oh my god! You can be invisible whenever.
Not this way.
Every nut up with a mask thinks they're a hero. What's up?
Electric.
Hell yeah, I voted for Morales. Volunteered to go door to door for a cream. Now that you want. And honestly, I ain't gonna do it. He wasn't listening anymore.
That's enough of that. Later, Spider-Man.
after Christmas? Do I have to wait before I take my decorations down?
I got a hold of him, man. He wasn't-
Spidey, it was so cool to see you in person.
Oh, that's cool. Love how alive that feels.
After I started calling myself the problem, met my first client right under this sign. Neon flag's hard to miss, and the crowd makes it easy to blend in. He wanted me to steal a painting. I looked across the square and saw your dad looking back at me. He never said anything, just turned and left. He didn't know everything, just that I was a thief. That was enough. I think he saw where we were headed long before I did.
If you would have tried to act right sooner, he would have forgiven you. I know he would have.
Miles! I did it! I figured it out!
This one was all your dad's idea. You need something that's always in this park. Quiet on their own, loud in a group.
Loud in a group? Not this way. Not gonna find it over here. How did Dad record this? Is he a pigeon whisperer?
This was way back, before high school. We were hanging in the park one day, and someone dropped a hot dog. You know how that goes. Place was swarming with pigeons. Dad stopped cold. He said, "Aaron, man, that's music. Listen." Next day, we were crawling all over Manhattan looking for beats. Like you are now.
I remember the first time they showed me how to sample. Uncle Aaron had the gear, and Dad had the ear for music.
This is a good one. Me and your dad used to hang around here. Listen while the whole station came alive. That's what you need.
Something at the station.
I think hanging around here is how your dad got the idea to be a cop. I said, "Man, you're not uptight enough for that job." He wanted to make things better from the inside. Pretty sure he died trying.
You did make things better, Dad. And so will I.
Friendly neighborhoods picked up an unfriendly weapons deal happening nearby. Miles! I did it! I figured it out!
How to safely...
Your mom lived here right after college. You know that? She and your dad were dating. 3 of us spent a lot of time here. We got used to this soft, steady beat.
Soft beat.
Taking a break? Impressed. I respect that. Brand development.
Yeah. Subtle, but a good beat.
Things were good back then. Felt like they'd be good forever. Your mom got her first gig as a teacher. Your dad was new to being a cop, and I just started calling myself the Prowler. I figured we all kept secrets about our jobs. Couldn't last though. Your dad's job and mine cross paths too often.
Man, Uncle Aaron, if you would have been anything else, my mom and dad would have supported you all the way.
Your dad and I fell asleep listening to this sound every night when we were kids. It's got a good beat.
Okay. Something rhythmic that was around when Dad and Uncle Aaron were.
The suit is still so
Should keep looking.
What can it do for my soul?
Dang, you not swinging?
Pretty sure it's behind me. Maybe something mechanical? Huh. There's a subway line near here.
Hey fam, check it
Oh,
out.
it really is. Yeah, that's it.
You probably don't know this, but your dad and I grew up not far from here, before we moved to Brooklyn in high school. Hearing the clatter of the wheels, the squealing when the trains turn and stop, always makes me think of me and your dad's late-night talks. Mostly about what we wanted to be when we grew up. I wanted to be a space alien. Your dad's dream changed. Doctor, firefighter, social worker. But he always wanted to help people.
Yeah, sounds like Dad.
Hey, young blood. You got almost everything you need for the track. You just unlocked the spot where you could find the last piece. Hope it works for you.
Place where I fought him? Doesn't have the best memories, Uncle Aaron. Raining subway tunnels. Guess a good thief needs a good hideout. He was always way better at guitar than me. He used to come to our place for dinner all the time. Guess he never learned to cook. Use the sounds. Frequency lock? Something new every day.
Hey, kid. Hope the suit fits. You asked why me and your dad stopped talking. He was investigating the Prowler. It led him to my clients, people like Simon Krieger, Wilson Fisk. Dad couldn't afford to make enemies like that. Not with you and Rio in the picture. So I told him. Hoped he'd back off, and he did. For good. He didn't want me around. Didn't want you to turn out like me. Hope this suit helps you be better. Take care, Spider-Man.
Thank you, Uncle Aaron, for everything.
Spider-Man. Nice job exposing rocks on him.
Close worksite, kid. Get out of here.
Got it. Hey, remember those time capsules I told you Finn and I hid? Found them. And, whew, talk about a head trip.
Yeah, I bet that'd be intense now.
I wanted to bury them in Prospect Park, but it was her idea to put them around the city. She always tried to push me out of my comfort zone.
What do you think she would have said to you now that you found them?
Good job, but I would have found him faster.
I like her taking the opportunity to dunk on you.
That's how she'd want it.
Everything all right?
Real life hero right here. Gonna make you proud. Really need to sleep. Just a quick nap. From Mom. It's a clue for a scavenger hunt. Dad and I used to do these. Did she make a new one? I'm gonna check this out. See what Mom put together. Should get out of here. Check out the Natural History Museum. Haven't been to the museum in forever. I think the last time was with Finn and Dad. Those trips were really fun. It's weird to think about now. Okay. Natural History Museum. Clue on the postcard said, facing the park, with the world on our shoulders, we guard the next clue. This one's of the Empire State Building. High atop the Empire State, you'll find a pair of blind eyes. There's a flash drive attached.
Hey, big man. Happy birthday.
Oh my God. Dad.
Scavenger hunt seemed like a fun way to celebrate 16. Tour down memory lane. Remember that summer you and Finn forced me to take you to the museum every weekend? Here's a secret. I love those trips. Used to be I felt guilty you didn't have any siblings. Things with your uncle are tough now, but I would have never made it to 18 without him. Anytime I'd see you with Finn, I'd feel less guilty. You have a sister. Her. With Finn, and now Genki, you'll always have family in your life. Love you lots, big man. See you at the next trip.
Wow. I haven't heard his voice in so long. I hope he left more messages with the rest of the scavenger hunt.
Hey, sleepyhead. Did you find my note?
Yeah. Follow the clue. And just Her dad. Did you do all this?
Just the setup. Your dad made the clues last year. I know it's been tough since the move. Thought hearing from him could help.
It does. Gracias, ma.
De nada. Have fun with him. And remember, I'm here if you need me, Miles. You can tell me anything. Te quiero.
Te quiero.
Listeners, give Spider-Man a
Empire State Building. Let's check the clue. High atop the Empire State, you'll find a pair of blind eyes. Maybe the clue's about the binoculars on the observation platform.
Spider-Man!
Modern Art Museum in Greenwich. I remember that place. Find the fossil hiding among the modern. Don't forget to look up.
Fifth grade field trip. Empire. I chaperoned. Never agreed to wrangle a bus full of 10-year-olds, son. Took us 3 hours to get here, and when we did, who showed up? The webhead himself. That vulture. As soon as we stepped off the elevator, we had to turn right back around again and evacuate. The thing I remember most, though, you wanted to see. Told me, Spider-Man needs our help, Dad. You're a born hero, Miles. Don't ever lose that fighting spirit. See you at the next clue.
Born hero. I think I learned to be a hero from watching Dad. I miss him. Especially now. Okay, here's the Modern Art Museum. Find the fossil hiding among the moderns. Don't forget to look up.
I ate way too much on Christmas.
Hey, doesn't the museum keep a fossil on the balcony facing the river? Worth a look. Next clue. Boom. Looks like I'm going to CODB's. Where money is king, you'll find great tunes hanging among the lights.
Had to drag you and Finn to the Modern Art Museum the first time you came. What do we care about splotchy paintings? But your mom and I knew. We had to show you kids that there were different ways of looking at the world. Sometimes radically different. When I saw you two in front of that psychedelic Angela Davis portrait, heads craned up and all, I knew you got it. All that orange and gold. Don't think you ever realized the world could look that way. That you could look that way. Like royalty. Proud of you making it this far. Let's see how you do with the next one.
Finn and I talked about that trip for months afterwards. Mom and Dad really knew how to inspire.
Spider-Man, stop the punks who were robbing.
All right, CODBs. Let's hunt. Hanging among the lights. Maybe it's between the lights and that speaker. Here we go.
Some friends are waiting on me, so. Got around.
I asked for one thing from you guys, and I didn't get it. Why, Santa?
Spider-Man, you get that new suit for Christmas.
All right, Spidey. Back to the grindstone. Later.
Nestled beneath Stuyvesant lives a monster of a good meal.
Spent half my youth at CODBs with your uncle. Every musician we loved played at this cramped little stage. Aaron even got up there once himself. Didn't do half bad either. When he finally told me about his night job, this is where he took me, to soften the blow. But it poisoned the place for me. Never took you here because of it. I regret that. You'd love it. Just like I would. So, how about this? Find a show you want to see. Anything, my treat. Come out here and your old man will show you how I used to bust a move. Next clue's all yours, Miles.
That was gonna bring me to a show. Man, I need a minute after hearing that. Lobster bills. Holy ground for Dad. Nestled beneath Stuyvesant lives a monster of a good meal. Pretty sure I know which monster he means. Next clue must be on Bill the Lobster. God, I know this place. The art space on the Upper East Side.
Yeah, hey, you want the pizza? Hey, yeah.
No letter enters this artsy castle without stopping at the gate.
Look at this. I got dope.
Woo! Oh, lobster bills. Home away from home. Always reminded me of the Graham's kitchen down south. Took your mom here on our first date. And just about every date after that. Even once when she was pregnant with you. And she went into labor right before this date. I blame the King's truth. She was less of a fan after that. But I'm not gonna lie, son. Some of those nights working late, oh yeah. I'm stopping in for some fried okra. Don't tell your mom.
Mom totally knew he was stopping. Let him have his secret. They were a good team. There's the art space. Okay. Oh, CJ Walker Park. I know this place, up in Harlem. Beneath the hoop where you learn to fly, your journey comes to an end. Man, not ready for this to be over.
Middle school graduation. You and Finn joked it felt like a royal coronation when we saw the art space building. Your mom and I were so proud. Our son and our almost daughter graduating at the top of their class. I know it made you sad, both of you, go to different high schools. But Miles, I'll tell you, the friendships you make when you're young, the real ones, those last. You and Finn will find each other again. Maybe a few years down the line, maybe a few decades. One clue left. Bet you can't wait to get to the end.
Finn and I did find each other again. Just not the way Dad thought. This is it. CJ Walker Park. Beneath the hoop where you... Man. So many memories.
And so we come to the end. CJ Walker Park. Remember when we played ball here in the summers? Your uncle showed you how to take it to the rack. Well, I demonstrated how to throw it down with authority.
Don't think I'll ever forget watching you and Finn trying to alley-oop to your mom. This place reminds me that as crazy as life gets, only one thing really matters. The people you love. You, your mom, Finn, Genki, even your uncle. Keep the folks you care about close to your heart, and you'll never go wrong. Happy birthday, big man. You are my reason for being brave.
Not ready for that.
Hey, Miles, what's up?
Hey, Mom. Just finished a scavenger hunt. Thank you so much for putting it together. For a little while, it was like he was back.
He never left me. I love you.
I love you, Ma.